There it is. I'm ready to teach these people something new. And I don't know what it's going to be, but there's going to be some cool stuff. Listen, the average speaker, 99% of speakers, if you said, would you want the client to feel better or worse after you left? Almost everyone would say better. And I say you never get long-term contracts if that's your strategy. I want the client to feel way worse after I'm done with them. I was hired by Compass in 1997 to do a 3-hour program on how to use techniques of professional speakers that increase their presentation skills. That has turned into somewhere between a $10 and $15 million contract from that 3 hours. They thought they were great. They thought they were here. And when I got done with them, they wondered how they ever sold anything. So they hit them with so many techniques that their brains exploded. And here's some of the things that, this is the sales funnel overview. Aggressive sourcing puts greater earnings. Matching modalities, spatial selling, become the prospect's emotional twin, the witty, 3-level landmines, definite questions, buyer's grid, resonating statements, position statements, are all the things we use in the sales funnel. If you don't know what the hell that is, then you're not doing it right. And most people have no clue what I'm talking about. Spatial selling, for instance. People assign an emotion to a specific point. So when I'm giving a presentation to a committee, I'm talking negative about the competition, I'm standing here. And then when I'm going to talk about something about my client, then I'm standing over here. And then when I want to go back and get back to talk negative, now, and you're assigning a negative or positive emotion to a physical location. That's called spatial selling.
Yeah.
So what's it do? Predictable, measure skill proficiency, allows the effectiveness of the presentation to be monitored as it's given, because most people don't know whether they won until they ask for the order. And we continue. Dramatically increases closing average. How about going from 13.9% to 70% closing? From $70 million a year in sales to $2.5 billion in new sales. Dramatically increases, makes it difficult for a competitor to use strategic selling, lowers the effectiveness of the competitor's presentation, and increases the client's reliance on you for a successful partnership. That's a pretty lot of stuff to do, isn't it? So we show you the old funnel, and here's the new one. This is what it looks like now. Step, purpose, demeanor. And this
Would you like to
now,
go full screen on that, Buffy, just to blow it up a little bit? Just go into the slideshow mode.
oh, wait a minute.
Presentation mode, Ray, presentation mode.
What happened? How did I get away from that?
You hit something on your,
No, what I did?
yeah. It'll jump over and.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Rapport. Without rapport, you've got nothing. And most people do not spend any time crafting their resonating statement, which is what builds rapport. The latest study, 6-year study, but it's something that I knew in 1972. I didn't put a name on it. What customers want to know are 2 things about when they meet me for the first time. Number 1, can I trust this person? Number 1. Number 2, can I respect them? Most people try and get respect first. We tell them how great we are, our credentials. They don't care until they feel that they can trust you. The rapport helps initiate the trust component. So there's a step, and within each step, there are techniques that help accomplish the purpose of the step. So if I want to build rapport, I use what is called a resonating statement that resonates with an audience. And let me give you an example. We were presenting to Johnson & Johnson, and 50 plant managers were in the room, but this had been a year pursuit. This was a monster contract, food service contract, facilities management for the entire United States for Johnson & Johnson, $1 billion. And there was a team that they had assigned, maybe 3 or 4 of their plant managers, with the committee putting together what was going to be something that was going to be distributed to all 50 plants. But we hadn't met 40 of the plant managers, so here we are in a presentation, and 40 of the 50 people we've never seen. You do that. You go give a presentation, and you've been dealing with one person, there's people that you've not met. So there's certain things, even though we never met them, that you know that they're thinking. And here was my resonating statement. I complimented the people that were helping them. I said, your committee is like trying to herd cats, trying to come up with a set of criteria that matches every one of you in this room. An impossible task. And I listed the criteria that they had. I said, but some of you are looking at that list and you're saying, that's not my list. And I said, others of you are here, and you're angry you're even here because you're pissed off that J&J wants you to switch your current provider to get a national contract, a better deal, and you're ticked off. And you got the bobbing head syndrome. When people do that, you've resonated because you just said what they were thinking. That's called a resonating statement, and that immediately bonds them to you. My resonating statement when I teach a course is, listen, I don't know about you, what I hate when I come to a course is when somebody takes 3 hours to teach something that takes 3 minutes. And you get a feeling like they're only one page ahead of you in the book. I'm not going to insult your intelligence. I'm going to hit you with more things than you ever could handle. But I know that you're smart enough to pick those jewels that are going to help you most before we leave here. And I said, and we're never going to get to the end. We never get to the end. I said, there's always going to be, and I have a pretty good handout we're never going to get to the end. So I'm just telling you that now. We're going to go at your rate, not my rate. We tell them that. Okay? So, problem definition. Here's where you create, this is the most important step. Here's where you create deficit and pain. And we use deficit questions. The primary, secondary focal points, deficit questions. In our business, what is your engagement index and how's it compared to the industry norm? What success probability formula are you using to determine whether it's worthwhile to allocate funds and time to go after a deal? And they don't have an answer for any of this stuff. How many sciences does your benchmark use in hiring? How many? There's more than one? There's any? And every time you ask a question where you know they don't even understand the question.
That's fantastic.
Look, I have a lot of hospital clients, a lot of them. And one of the clients was, how much, and a big measure in hospitals, in emergency rooms, is door-to-dock times. And now you see hospitals are advertising it on billboards. We have a 12-minute door-to-dock time. We have a 20-minute door-to-dock time. And when you walk into the emergency room, you actually get seen by a doctor. So I read for purpose. So I was reading an article about queuing theory. I said, I can use this as a deficit question for hospitals. So how much has door-to-dock times been shortened since your current provider has applied queuing theory to the problem? They don't even know what queuing theory is, so we know they didn't apply it to the problem, so we know there's been no shortening in door-to-dock time. You with me? Oh,
How'd you get so funny? Just natural, isn't it?
I did a program for the pool guys a couple of years ago, and I told them exactly how I did it. I mean, exactly. And this one guy in the front row kept saying, but Ray, you didn't tell him the most important thing. He said, what the hell are you talking about? I told him everything I did to make it. He says, no, you laughed people into the contract. and I would do that. If you wrote me a check for a deposit, I would go like this. Oh, this was check. It didn't bounce. I carry a bag of Doritos, right? And I would take the Doritos out if you didn't buy. Listen, if you don't sign the contract, I'm going to have to take out my secret weapon. That's a bag of Doritos. I'm going to have to open up this bag of, in those days, you remember the Frito Banditos? When he opened up the bag of Doritos, the building would fall down and the plane would crash. I'm going to open up these Doritos.
Did that ever help your sale?
People would say to me, Oh, it was phenomenal. People would say to me, am I ever going to see you again? I
What does that
believe
mean?
Huh?
What does that mean?
Well,
Well,
after I sell them, am I ever going to see you again? I'd say, do you see this hand? Do you see any blisters? Do you see any? This hand doesn't do work. If you see me in your yard, it's because I want something from you. You can't lower expectations any more than that. The only way you can overpromise is to lower what you deliver, what you're promising. So I'm lowering expectations down to nothing. So, but I would go out there, and here was the referral. I was a referral kid, let me tell you. I would go out to your home 2 or 3 weeks after I knew the pool was done. I would always do it at night, and I'd always be wearing a long sleeve shirt because a long sleeve shirt increased psychic depth. Because there was, in the old days, there was 4 light lenses, red, blue, green, yellow, passion red, frost-proof blue, bug-proof amber, you know, this emerald green, was the way I called them to college. But it came with the light. I never told them they were getting them though. If you bought them, it probably would have been a $5 thing. I brought a bottle of cheap wine, maybe $5 bottle of champagne, maybe Cold Duck or something, and I would bring the light lenses. And I'd come out to the house, I have a little gift for you, and I would reach down in the pool and get my sleeves wet because I went the blue light over the blue lens over and it was dramatic. When you snap that blue lens over the pool, it would, and now the wife, so it's, oh, let me get you a towel. You've got your shirt all dirty. Then I would go stand on the diving board, this is funny, you know, and this is bringing back old memories. And I would say, you know, there's an old saying in the swimming pool industry that when you open a bottle of champagne, if the cork lands in the water, it brings you luck. that damn thing went out the bottom, the damn cork went in the pool. And I have referrals. Oh, I mean, unbelievable number of referrals. And how that happened is something too. In the land business, we were told, and I was stupid enough to believe it, that you had to get 2 referrals, otherwise the company wouldn't accept the contract. And on the bottom of the contract was the place to put them. Guess what? You got 2 referrals. And you never ask people, who do you know that can use what you do? You know, you don't say, who do you know that wants to buy a swimming pool? The way we ask it, who do you know that cares about their family as much as you do? That's a whole lot more people. So you ask the question, who do you know that cares about their employees as much as you do? Or the environment, or whatever it is, because now you've just broadened the number of people that can come and see you. The witty was the greatest tool I ever developed in my life. A license to steal. The witty is a pre-printed document called So What's Important to You. The Leone Resource Group wants to know what's important to you, and we hand them a pre-printed document with 20, 30 things on it. Please look over this list and rank the top 5 in order of importance to you. And they rank them, and then we chat about them. What's your definition of quality? What's your definition of quality? Well, guaranteed, what's your definition? So get their definition. Why did you select that number 1, whatever it was? Sustainability, we hear occasionally. So why is that number 1? Gets to their dominant buying motive. When it gets to their dominant buying motive. Then I say, if I could develop a solution that meets these criteria, will we be in business? I want you to understand where I asked that question. I might have been in front of this person for 10 or 15 minutes and I'm closing them. And I haven't opened my briefcase yet. I haven't told them what I do or how I do it. I just said, what do you want? And if I can bring you what you want, will you buy? Is that a fair question? Today, when I got sales people around me all the time, and that's when I bring up the question, who wants to play poker with me tonight for $100? But you don't know what game we're playing. high-low, high poker, or low poker, so I look at my card. They're gonna say, well, I would never, that's stupid. Well, then why do you go after a sales deal and you don't know the rules to win? The witty are the rules. Tells you what you need to do to win. That is an unbelievably powerful document. And I tell the client, I'm telling you, the customer, we don't just use this to help put our solution to sell you. This document lives with you for the life of the contract. So when we come in to do our quarterly business review with you, we say, last time we were together, these were your 5 most important criteria. How are we doing on them? And you want us to look at 5 new ones moving forward. That increased the retention rate from 90 to 98.7%. So not only were we selling more, but the retention rate skyrocketed. So when I close, and I'm closing here, just mind you now, I haven't presented anything. Now, you ever get an objection when you close? You ever get an objection?
Not if it's truly closed.
Of course you do. The perfect sales presentation is the one that eliminates the objection during the presentation, so you never get it.
Right. Very rarely does it when it's closed. Right?
Well,
Even before that.
Is this similar to buyer's remorse?
no, that's a whole different story. We can talk about that when we get to that. We have time for that. So they'll say, yes, the price is right, or yes, but I need to talk to another company. Yes, but I have to take it to the committee or to my boss.
Oh, okay.
Whatever they were going to save that objection until the end to delay the decision. Well, you're never going to know what the objection is until you ask for the order. So I need to ask for the order before I develop my solution. Because the perfect presentation eliminates the objection, you need to know what the hell the objection is going to be. So you need to close. And the real purpose of that is to uncover the objection. And at least to define the criteria they're going to use with which to make their decision.
And what does that early close sound like, Ray?
Real simple. If I can bring a solution that satisfies you, not me, of those criteria that you just listed, will I be your partner? And it's a very easy, soft, And 1/3 of the time, believe it or not, the answer is yeah. The high D, the dominant personality says, yeah, you bring me those 5 things, you got it. Other people, the high C, he'll tell you that the answer in 3 months, but and then I fast forward when they give me the objection. Well, if the price is right, let's assume that's done, then what? That's the fast forward. Because the first objection is almost never the real one, so why deal with it? So whatever objection I give you, I need to talk to another company. Let's assume you've done that, now what? I need to talk to the cleaner. Let's assume you've done that, now what? Boom, now you're going to get to the real objection. And now I can come back and sit down and develop my solution. And my solution is directly correlated to the criteria they gave me. And if I come back, is that mine?
What's that? Is that not
It
funny?
does. It may have something to do with it.
You might have emails landing on your
But I
computer.
thought I had my thing turned down to nothing. Anyway. So now the solution is customized to the will of the client. So they might say, for any of us, if we have 2 or 3 things in our bucket that we do, well, this is the primary one, this is whatever it is. One client, his thing was the engagement index. That was his thing. He wanted to improve his engagement index. Other people want to increase their account retention, whatever it is. Then,
Before we go to that slide, can I ask, how did you determine what attributes you put on the wiki?
I'll show you a couple. But at the beginning, and that's another thing I do, I customize them for my client. Like in a hospital that's selling physicians, actually that's what they sell, doctors, a whole lot different than a guy's got a witty for a swimming pool. Right? So But there's certain things you know on every witty. Quality, price, service, on everyone, right? Reputation of the company. Some sustainability. Minority tier 1 participation credits, whatever it is for what that industry is. But I've got one for what we do.
Thank you.
Then, now, it wasn't until I wrote the book, like in '88, that I realized that research, that not only were there like 15 steps in the process, but it really goes through 3 very distinct phases, the sales process. And I love acronyms. And research, education, dream fulfillment is RED, R-E-D. The research phase, and this is the key, is where the sale is made. In today's world, quality competitors exist, and the client can determine and have a pretty high comfort level that 2 or 3 companies can do what you do. So if that's true, how do you differentiate? You can't differentiate on your solution because anyone can provide the solution. So here's how we differentiate. We bring a better solution to a more well-defined problem. Solutions to problems are easy. The real skill is in accurately defining the problem. That's what we do. In the pool business, I used to say, the first 5 pools I did, I was scared to death when I went back. After I did 50, I thought I had it. But once I had done 500, I knew I had it. Now you're feeling really comfortable with me now. I've done over 500 of these. Now, would this impress you? I've won 27 International Swimming Pool Design Awards. That's called a little wow. That's part of your position statement. You don't want people to jump and do somersaults. You want them to go, wow. Like I'm certified in everything. I'm certified in EQ. I'm certified in DISC. I'm certified in value. I'm certified in Hartman. I own the trademark to the sales funnel whole brain. That sounds pretty good, Maybe this guy got something of value. That's your position statement. Education is the puke mode. No puking allowed in research. You have 60 seconds to puke in research. That's your position statement. That's your credibility builder. That's it.
Research by that you mean questioning, uncovering.
Yeah, without anything to do with the solution.
Right.
In fact, I haven't opened my briefcase. Nothing.
That's diagnostic mode.
Yes. And since I do so much in healthcare, I say, listen, I have the surgeons and the doctors that are going to craft your solution. My job as the diagnostician is to find out really where you're sick. We reverse engineer, and it's the term I use all the time, we reverse engineer every solution to give you the desired result. We reverse engineer everything. This is it. These are the only 2 things the customer wants from us. Isn't that it?